Welcome to Chicago. There's the Wrigley and the Tribune Tower. We're here in Lackford, Michigan. And we got a beautiful day here. We got 50 degrees. I didn't think it was going to get this warm, but it feels pretty well. You know, it's not going to get much warmer than this. I'm risking it. I'm not wearing the big coat here, but we'll head out to the lakefront here since it's such a sunny day here in Chicago. This is the Green River, what's left of it from St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, we got March the 19th, 2026. Nice weather day. We're above freezing. 40s, 50s. There's the Chicago Architecture Center. Wrigley Building. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Chris, Sabrina Suburban Garden there. AGRUOC, how you doing? Am's Corner. Yeah, Chris, thanks for tuning in here. So yeah, we'll see if we see any tour roads. We got sirens. There's a fire engine heading across Columbus Drive. We might cross there as well. There, we're on Wacker Drive. We're over by the Hyatt. And yeah, we'll get back in the sun. We'll head over towards Navy Pier. I know it's a very touristy thing to do. This is my lunch break, but there won't be many people over there. Hey, they're doing the architectural tour. There, the John Hancock. Yeah, the Odyssey. And we saw all these boats out in force for St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, Grandma's Corner, how you doing there, Krista? Lamar, how you doing? What's shaking? But yeah, we're looking forward to possibly 60 degrees tomorrow in Chicago, and maybe 70 degrees Fahrenheit on over the weekend, including Sunday, both Saturday and Sunday. So hey, the nice weather is hitting for the weekend. We're on Thursday here, so and we'll enjoy the sunshine and head over to Navy Pier here. We got just around the noon hour here. Yeah, thanks for catching one, Lindsay. Thanks for catching the lunchtime live stream on YouTube. Yesterday we were totally unplanned. We ran into that comedy improv group there from Yale. I had no idea they were going to be at Daily Plaza, and it was a good time there doing some improv with them. Thanks to the person that filmed there. I handed the camera to somebody and they filmed me fielding the questions there. Here comes the architectural tour boat here at the Sheraton Hotel. This is Columbus, turns into Fairbanks. See, if you look that way, you can see the Aeon. It goes to Millennium Park that way. We saw the Bean this morning on TikTok. I ended the live at the Bean there. It looked nice. I'm sure it looks nice now, but I thought about going over there, but I'm sure we'll catch it. Again, we already caught it this morning on a different platform. Hey, let's catch this. Yeah, the shoreline sightseeing boat going through here. There it is. See, the river is back to its normal gray, green, brownish color. And it's nice to see the architectural tour boats. They'll be going all spring and summer, fall. Go ahead down the steps there. Hey, look at that bright star. Sheraton Hotel, Chicago River. Yeah, you never know what you're going to stumble upon. You know, Daily Plaza, usually they, see, these are the three levels of Wacker Drive. Lower, 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 and upper Wacker Drive. Lower, lower is where they tow your car. But yeah, you never know what we run into. Daily Plaza, they program events all throughout the warmer months of the year. Sometimes it's political speech, sometimes it's cultural stuff, raising the flag of a specific culture or ethnic group or country, you know, and that's why we like to show off, and that's why it was the college kids from Yale there. So here's the Chicago River. There's the St. Regis. Yeah, there's a nice view. Look at that view to the Trump Tower, Wrigley Building. Look, those geese just flew right over us. Those two geese just flew right over us. There's the second tallest building in Chicago. There, we'll head down these stairs. Yeah, bright sunshine. We're getting the same brightness of the sun as late September. We're almost to the equinox, which probably starts tomorrow and heads to the weekend. You can see through the Marina Towers there. Yeah, Ernesto's gonna film the Chicago Hinge. I think he's already got his spot picked out. I think I've already got my spot picked out, probably tomorrow night. We'll check the weather forecast, make sure it's sunny. There's a chance you might see it tonight. You know, it's supposed to be clear skies, but we'll see. Yeah, Steph Mika, how you doing there? Life Psychology. Yeah, we got nice blue skies. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Heather B. Sheridan, how you doing? Sorry if I missed anybody's comments here. The steps are really slippery, so even though the snow's gone, these steps are wet, and there's like briny salt and grease on them. So it's like probably all the people going up and down these stairs for St. Patrick's Day grimed them all up. Hey, they're taking a nice photo shoot there. So there's the Columbus Bridge. There's the Aon. There's some of the buildings over there in Lakeshore East. We'll head along this Riverfront Esplanade here. 50 years ago. Well, hey, Futurucci, how you doing there? Eric, thanks for saying hello. Yeah, the river's... Yeah, you know, does it look green? I mean, it looks a little green. I don't think this is any leftover from the dye. It's already dissipated and moved down the South Branch because they didn't even dye it this close to the lake. Ernesto got some footage there from Saturday. The boats came underneath him there. There's the St. Regis. Look at that sun. And Swiss Hotel. Harry Weiss designed a Swiss hotel. Architect. Yeah, it's looking green. Yeah, the Green River, we'll go with it. Hey, March. Lousy March weather. It's actually pretty nice today. Yeah, we're looking green. Hey, walking the dog, very nice. So we'll see if the sun sets behind the St. Regis, the Genie Gang, one of the tallest buildings in Chicago, about the same height as the Giant Hancock. There's the sun. St. Regis is a hotel at the bottom. It's residential at the top. Hey, thanks, Aisha there. Thanks for who sent that shamrock? It was nice there. I missed it. Hey, there, Lori Scarborough. Thanks for the shamrock there. That's nice. I'm using the YouTube app, so I'm getting all the graphics. When I use Streamlabs, I wouldn't see that stuff, but appreciate it. Hopefully the resolution's fine. But here's Chicago, Illinois, United States, America, planet Earth. Thanks for tuning in here on YouTube. This is my lunchtime walk. We're gonna head over to Navy Pier. There's Centennial Fountain. We're counting down the days when they're gonna turn this thing on. Maybe in May. You know, they usually turn on the Buckingham Fountain middle of May. Usually we go down there to cover it. And it's usually a good time because you realize you got the whole summer ahead of us. And since our winters are so long and dreary, we really take advantage of the summer months if you live up here. Chicagoland. There's the Nicholas J. Mila's Centennial Fountain. There, we'll head up McClure Court. Hey, Christy, how you doing there? Everybody's saying hello. Look at this skyscraper canyon. Hey, say hello to Darren Monroe. So what else is going on? Let's see. Oh, I bet you a lot of people are watching March Madness. The March Madness starting today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Basketball coming out of your ears, both men and women's. Did the NIT tournament start yet? National Invitational. We got the NCAA men's and NCAA women's, college basketball, big tournament, March Madness. Yeah. And I think one of those pitchers from the Venezuela team that defeated USA in the baseball classic was going to pitch for the Cubs. And so, hey, we saw this car before. Here's a classic 1950s car. Still drivable, street legal. It's a Buick. This is a Buick. This is an old Buick hardtop, probably 1959. What year do you think this is? It's like late 50s, I think. Yeah, it's a Buick here. Look at that, very nice. See, look, yeah, look at the nice, the little, yeah, 56 Buick. Look how they got the exhaust. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, so yeah. Man, very beautiful. Classic cars. We see some of the roadsters. There's somebody that parks on Belden Street, and they got the chain on the bumper and everything, dice in the mirror. Gosh, and sidewalk closed ahead. I've walked down there before. You see where that person's walking the dog. You can walk down there along this road, but it just stops. You can't connect because of the Ogden slip. And there's the 400 North Lakeshore. Look at that thing. That's 70 stories tall. It's almost at the top. I saw some people. There's Kenya Franklin there. I guess left over from the primaries. Yeah, I saw some footage where people were at the top and they had to tether themselves so they wouldn't get blown off there. Very, very harrowing views there from the top of the 400 Lakeshore. I went the wrong way. I know I should have went down these stairs. We'll head around. How you doing? I want to go this way. I was talking and looking at the comments here. We'll head down the Ogden Slip. Yeah, Winters Jazz Club. We'll go past the pizza place here, Robert's Pizza. This has been coming soon for 6 months. I remember when I first saw this. It's going to be Woo's Korean Barbecue. Woo's Korean Barbecue right here on the Ogden Slip next to Robert's Pizza. So we'll have another restaurant option. Hey, they're getting the outdoor seating available. They open up the windows. See, it's 50 degrees. You open up the windows. You got a nice seating here at the bar, Robert's Pizza. There we go. We got spring training baseball. Come here and watch March Madness. Go to Robert's Pizza here. Very nice. Ogden Slip. Hey, they're getting all the pontoon boats out so you can rent these. Please don't feed the birds. Look at all these pontoon boats you can rent and drive up and down the Chicago River. There's some regular boats. This is on the Ogden Slip. Yeah, Winters Jazz. Look at these balconies. They added these balconies. Salt Lake City, how you doing there, Leslie? Thanks for tuning in, friends. Peter, TCU and Ohio State on CBS. Yeah, March Madness. Very nice. UK Wildcats. Yeah, let's see what the Wildcats do. Kentucky. Hey, look at those boats. So these are the boat sales. So there's a boat sales place. There's Dorita. We got the video. There he is right there. There's Dorita. We got the nice video. I got it on YouTube. Maybe I'll transfer it over to TikTok. We'll stop in there again sometime. I'll show him his videos on YouTube. He's like, no one can find me. I said, I know. We'll try to spread the word. Dorita, working artist. He's won a lot of awards. He's got a lot of news articles about him over the years. Here's Innisfree. You can see the tour boats. Yeah, UK Wildcats. Nice car. So, yeah, look into the laws about driving boats. I don't know off the top of my head. As far as I know, like one time I was with my friend that had a boat. We were on Lake Michigan. And he was like, take over the wheel. I need to go down and get some drink or something. And he goes, just drive the boat and head towards the lighthouse. I said, I don't have a license. He goes, you don't need a license to drive the boat. I was like, okay. So nobody checked. So I don't know. I mean, if you rent a boat, you can ask them before you rent. And I'm sure they'll tell you the requirements. Sometimes they might make you take a class like the kayak rentals. They train you how to use it safely and paddle and roll out of the kayak and things like that. So, just common sense stuff. Have life jackets on the boat. Don't drink and drive, just like driving a car. But, here's the 400 Lakeshore. Look at it take shape there. Yeah, I don't know how much it is to rent. You'd have to check I don't work for the boat tour places. I think it's around $50, $60 to take an architectural cruise. I'm sure to rent a boat, it's probably closer to several hundred to $1,000, depending on if you take it out for the whole day or if you just rent it by the hour. And it might not be that bad. The cheapest way to get on the river in a boat, they got electric boats at Marina Towers, where they rent the hot tub boats. They got these little electric boats. They fit about 10 people. They're really easy to drive. Friends of mine, they got a Groupon, and we went on one time. And they're electric, so they're really quiet. I think those are probably just a few $100s, and you could split that amongst 10 people. And that's, or you can take a water taxi. Water taxi is about $10 per ride. Or if you I get a 10 ride pass because I live here. I use it often. You get 10 rides for $25. To me, that's the best deal. $2.50, the same. They might have raised it to $2.75 this year because the CTA fare is going up as well. But for under $30, you can get 10 rides, less than $3 a ride. And you can take it all the way to Chinatown. You can take it from downtown to Chinatown, $3. In the summertime, they got some of these. They go out on the lake. You get nice lake views of the Skyline going towards the museum campus. They'll stop at Buckingham Fountain. And we're heading over to Navy Pier here, Chicago, Illinois. United States of America, planet Earth. Let me make sure I got the right temperature here. 12:12 in the p.m. We're head over to Navy Pier. See what we got here. Hold on, I'm checking out the stock market portfolio. Hey, we're making money. Good. Okay, so what time we got here? I was looking at the temperature. 52 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 15 degrees Celsius, so not too bad. Maybe 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. 52 degrees Fahrenheit. There we see the nice Skyline will get better and better. Look how tall that thing is. I can't even get it all in there. That's the 400 Lakeshore residential development. There's supposed to be 2 of those. They haven't started the second one. We don't even know if they're starting the second one. Justin. Yeah, the railway laying across the 78. I saw some news articles about that. We'll keep an eye on that story. That's interesting. Chris and I took the Amtrak train in New Orleans. I got some footage of us going through that rail yard on an Amtrak train. Yeah, if they could use the air rights above that rail yard, to me that's a nice way to, multiple ways to use that land. It could be railroad and then have a stadium above. And then it'll be close to the Loop. It'll be in the South Loop, 78 neighborhood, right across the river from the soccer stadium that's already moving forward to a soccer-only stadium on the east side of the river. On the west side, where the railroad yards, yeah, they're talking of building a White Sox stadium there. At least there's maybe staying in the city. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll keep an eye on that story. Hope they extend the river walk down there, and we can get progress strokes. People are waiting to get on the large barge here. Very nice. Here's all the people waiting to take a nice sunny architectural tour up the river here, lakefront trail. So hey, welcome to Navy Pier. We got 52 degrees. It feels like a spring day. Snow's mostly melted. I'm sure they still got snow in Wisconsin and Minneapolis. There, Navy Pier. Yeah, United States of America, planet Earth. Oh, they're going to move the railway. So yeah, they probably for, I thought of that, probably for security reasons. They don't want a bunch of railroad tracks going underneath. That would be very expensive. So you know how expensive it would be. I think that would ruin the deal. It would cost too much money to move that rail yard because all that rail infrastructure goes into Union Station unless they move it further down the track. I'll look into it. I was working on other things this morning, of course, at work, so I haven't had enough time to I need to research the story and find out more information so I can talk about it more intelligently. But here at Navy Pier, we're gonna head out. We'll see if we can make it all the way to the end. I'm gonna try to go to the Bob Newhart statue at the end of Navy Pier, and then we'll walk back. Since I got an early start, we're about 12:15, 12:20 around here. There's Navy Pier. Used to be Municipal Pier. It's Lake Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. This is the lock for the mouth of the Chicago River. And there's the Ferris wheel. And there's Lake Point Tower there. We'll get some nice views on the way back to the Skyline. Hey Dolores, how you doing? Germany's tuning in. That's great. Thanks, Grandma's Corner. Thanks for bouncing. Hey, people always, hey France, how you doing there, Maurice? Viva de France. Yeah, 1-0 Cypher. Yeah, people find me in the comments and they're like, oh, I was muted. And I'm like, well, why were you muted? Oh, I did nothing wrong. Yeah, there's a reason. You know, I trust my moderators. They do a good job. It's a thankless job. And, you know, people want to be able to say what they want to say without consequence. I'm not against free speech. That this is not free speech. This is monetized speech. You think this is free speech? Try live streaming. Watch how fast you get banned if you say stuff that the algorithm doesn't like. And sometimes you can't even figure out what the algorithm didn't like. Here's shoreline sightseeing. You can go to get the tickets here to get the boats. Hey, there's Hebrew Brantley, the Flyboy. You might see murals of this all over the city. And they got a three-dimensional statue you can take a picture with. They had the Harry Carey glove there. Hey, shoreline sightseeing. There, you get in the boat here, take a lake tour. See, they added these trees. These trees weren't always here. They redeveloped Navy Pier about 5 years ago and added some shade. So the temperature is 52 degrees. I just checked. 52 degrees Fahrenheit, not bad at all. And yeah, we'll head up briefly up to where the amusement rides are. So it's free to go to Navy Pier, but if you want to ride the rides, I think it's a la carte. You got to pay to ride the Ferris wheel. And they got putt-putt golf up here. They got some virtual reality rides. Chris and I took the flyover Chicago. I would recommend it. It was actually pretty nice. It's like a roller coaster ride. You feel like your stomach drops out. They blow air and spray water on you, and your feet are dangling. I felt like I was going to drop my phone. I felt like I was on a roller coaster trying to film a roller coaster. Here's the Ferris wheel at Navy Pier. The merry-go-round. Here's the last of the snow. So here's hopefully we're not going to get much more snow, but I'm sure maybe April, maybe I don't want to say it. Still a chance. But here's the putt-putt golf. They got like blue water. There. Okay, here's the prices. So Navy Pier Park Attractions credit debit card. So the Ferris wheel's $20. Okay, with tax, $24. Mini golf's $15. Carousel's $8. Teacups. Yeah, nothing's cheap. There, they're running the Ferris wheel. It's going around. Those are heated cabs, so you're in climate controlled. If you're worried about being cold and windy up there, you're in a climate controlled carriage. Here's the Ferris wheel at Navy Pier. Here's the putt-putt golf. They used to have a bunch of palm trees in there, but like a virtual reality. Oh, they took it out, so maybe they're going to redo it. Here's the teacup ride. This is Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. There, they're loading up. You go around 3 times. If you take the Ferris wheel, you go around 3 times. I haven't done it since my cousin came to town in 2022. He paid for it. I appreciate it. Me and my dad went up there with my cousin Matt. We got some nice views. Look how hazy it is. So it's kind of hazy towards the south loop there. There, we'll get the skyline views. Yeah, Navy Pier. Hey, you want me to throw you a snowball? Yeah, we want to build a snowman. Hey, look at that skyline. There's the south loop. There's the south loop skyline. And there's the Lakeshore East skyline. There's the 400 Lakeshore. Sorry, there's the 400 Lakeshore. They got a stage here. They got a stage. Usually in the springtime, they bless the water. They bless the boats. Sometimes they do a ceremony. So here, Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. Look how you can look over to. There's the Ferris wheel. There's the John Hancock. There's Lake Point Tower. There's the, see, we just walked by there. 400 Lakeshore. There's Genie Gang. If we get further out, we might see even more of the skyline. We'll head over towards the Shakespeare. Yeah, the Ferris wheel, if you're afraid of heights, it's pretty harrowing. You get up to the top there, you feel like you're on a big bridge. But it's nice views of the skyline if you like that. So, yeah, maybe you could research it. I don't know what the Hebrew Brantley flyboy means. It's just a character he came up with for his street art. The same with, like, J.C. Rivera. He has his character. It's called the Bear Champ. A lot of these themes, it becomes like, you know, Shepard Fairey, who is a street artist like Banksy and would do stencils and stuff. He was the one that came up with the Obey with Andre the Giant. The idea is just to get as many impressions as you can possibly get so people recognize your artwork by repetition. And you repeat the same theme over and over again. So Hebrew Brantley created the Flyboy, and you see it in all his artwork. And same with the Bear Champ for J.C. Rivera. So, you know, other artists might, like Picasso did with Cubism. You know, you see a Cubist painting, you think Picasso, it's his brand. You know, Banksy's art's easily recognizable usually. People are like, is that a Banksy or a Banksy ripoff? He has the mice. He has variations of the theme as well. So here's the giant Odyssey cruise line. This is City Cruises. It's not Odyssey, but it's the same giant dinner cruise boat that goes out on the lake. And you can catch these at Navy Pier. We're over by the hotel. We'll go by the Sable Hotel. So you can walk inside this. There's a convention center down here. That's where Grim Evil and I saw the Lowrider Festival. It was not at McCormick Place. It was here. It's a big convention hall. Yeah, the City Cruise. Yeah, mascot brand. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. You got it. It's like a mascot. Here, Windy, Chicago. So they got a sailboat ship. They got sails. So if you take the Windy sailboat, it's really use the wind power. It's really quiet, and it's a beautiful way to get out on the lake and see the skyline. I've never taken the Windy boat. I should try that sometime. You got sailing tours. It's like the old clipper ships. See, tall ship Windy. So here, Billy Ghost. They got a maze. They got some virtual reality stuff here. Barsoul. This is Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. And we're just heading out the end. There's the Bob Newhart statue. Fubar, yeah. I know Navy Pier's touristy, but it's easy for me to. This is about the farthest I can walk on my lunch break. I'm working from the office today. Since the sun was shining, I do this for my own pleasure too. I'm not just doing it for you. I want to pick a place that's enjoyable to walk. I don't have to worry about traffic. And people expect people to be filming here because it's a touristy place anyway. There, the Sable Hotel. It's not named after Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable. It said there was a boat called the Sable. It took me a while to figure it out. I had to look it up. Yeah, two birds, one stone. You got it. Yeah, let's see. Well, let's see some rollerbladers. Maybe on the lakefront. I see people rollerblading on the lakefront bike path, but we'll wait till spring and summer. Maybe we'll see it this evening. It's going to be warm, and tomorrow it's going to be a lot warmer. We're going to try to catch that Chicago hinge where the sun sets down the east-west streets. It looks pretty dramatic with the skyline. If you can catch it with the train going by. Yeah, double tap the screen there. Hit the thumbs up there. Thanks, Christy. Man. Oh, it was windy last week. I think last Friday. Yeah, it was really windy that day. I streamed twice, but I gave up towards the end of the day. Here's Spirit of Chicago. See another one of these city cruises. Big Odyssey boats. Some of them have a helicopter on them. I think it's just for show, but maybe they could use it if they need to helicopter somebody to a heliport. Just so you look like you're rich, you got a helicopter on the boat. Yeah, let's sail. Let's go sailing. Yeah, we'll show you the sea. We're going out to the end, so we'll get a nice clear view to the lighthouse. We'll show the Lake Michigan, and we'll show the Bob Newhart statue. See, all these hotel rooms have nice views southward of the lake, and that's usually the direction they shoot the fireworks off in the summertime. Wednesdays and Saturdays all throughout the summer between Memorial Day and Labor Day. And Ernie, Ernesto, and other Chicago live streamers usually stream them. There, yeah, here's the there's the sea. There's Lake Michigan, freshwater, one of the 5 Great Lakes here. We're in Chicago, Illinois. There it is. So there's your South Loop skyline across the way, Chicago, Illinois. Oops, almost walked into that chain there. Yeah, thanks Venue and Aisha, Rijevald. Yeah. So there it is. There we go. There's the top of the 400 Lakeshore, that residential building under construction. There's your Lakeshore East skyline. There's the South Loop skyline, Chicago, Illinois. So there's one of the ramps to get you out. See, we'll go show that lighthouse, which is about a mile out there. I've kayaked out to that lighthouse. Maybe we'll do that sometime. You're watching on the TV. That's good. Thanks for watching the walk there. Yeah, you like this song? Hey, I'm gonna trip. Here's the think about your walk the dog. Latest sculpture. The ball's balanced on that rail there. Hey, Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. Just nice not to have to wear a coat. So they got a big bar out here. They brand it as the largest bar. I don't know if it is. I thought the largest bar was in Put-in Bay in Lake Erie, but they're trying to rival that. Usually they have a stage with live music here sometimes on summer Saturday nights, and they'll put all kinds of activities here, bean bags and axe throwing. There's that's a lighthouse. That's the lighthouse out in Lake Michigan. Can you believe in the 1970s there was a guy that lived on that for a year or two? He actually got married out there, but in the wintertime you get really isolated. And they had some really cold winters in the 70s, so he gave up trying to live there. I don't know how he hooked up that deal. Who'd he rent from the city? Here's there's a food court out here. You usually have a stage. This is the end of Navy Pier. What time we got? Are we doing okay on time? Yeah, 12:28. So we'll reverse this. We'll go out and see the Bob Newhart statue. And I don't know why they stuck it way out here. You thought they would put it on Michigan Avenue near the building where he worked at in the show that was set in Chicago in the 1970s, the Bob Newhart show. Before he did Newhart with the one in Vermont, that came later in the 80s. He had a show set in Chicago with his wife, and that's why the last scene from the second show, the finale, he was all a dream, just like Dallas. He woke up, he was in bed with his first wife from the first, and he's like, was it all a dream? Yeah, thanks for checking out Chicago. Look how calm the lake is. So look how peaceful that is. That's a light beacon to guide people into the mouth of the Chicago River. There's locks right there. They were working on them. There's a lock that gets you into the Chicago River. See, there's some of the skyline. And hey, look at this people. Look at this people there taking pictures. Yeah, view of the horizon. We'll get a close-up of the horizon. Wow, yeah, you could see down. That's Hyde Park. So that's Hyde Park. That's about 6-7 miles south of us. My phone can't focus. That's look how misty it is on the lake. My phone can't focus. But here we'll show the lighthouse here. Here's the lighthouse in mouth of Monroe Harbor, Chicago, Illinois. This is Lake Michigan. We got about 52 degrees. And we're at 12:30 in the PM, Chicago Central Time. Thanks for tuning in. It's about 10-15 degrees Celsius above 15. So here's the end of Navy Pier. They got a big rotunda here. They got a big amphitheater in there. People rent it out for all kinds of events. And you see we'll get that nice view heading back. But here, let's check out the Bob Newhart statue. I think they're checking it out. Yeah, they're checking it out. There it is. They're sitting there. You can sit on the couch right next to him. He was a psychologist, psychiatrist. That was his whole shtick on that show. He would always talk on the phone. See, they got an anchor. They got the flags here. They got an anchor. You can sit on the anchor and take pictures. Chicago flag, the Illinois flag, United States flag. This is the end of Navy Pier. This is as far as you can go. You can sit out here on the bench. This is like a Liberty Mutual commercial, except it has the lighthouse instead of Statue of Liberty. And way beyond there, way out there on the horizon, that's a water intake crib. That's 2 miles out. So there's a water intake crib there. I'm talking loud. I can't get in. There we go. And there's the lighthouse. Yeah, the Skyline. So here, let's check out the Bob Newhart. I see they left there, so we got it all to ourselves. So hey, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the end of Navy Pier. See, there's the rotunda at the end. And this is the tip of Navy Pier, the eastern edge. Here's the Bob Newhart statue. How you doing there, Bob? Yeah, see, they got the whites of his eyes. He's got his notepad. Bob Newhart. Remember Bob Newhart? He went to Loyola University. I think he grew up in Evanston. There he is, Bob Newhart. How you doing there, Bob? See, I'll sit here with Bob and you can psychoanalyze me. I bet Bob could have a field day with me. I got all kinds of phobias and social hang-ups and anger issues. There, Bob Newhart. This is at the tip of Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. They don't put a plaque to him or nothing. So a lot of times people will come out here, and if they're not familiar, generation gap, they've never seen the show. They're like, who is this? Why is this guy sitting on the couch? And they don't know it's Bob Newhart. And other people didn't know that Bob Newhart, had a Chicago connection. It wasn't just he actually grew up here. He was an accountant. He went to college for being an accountant, and he became a comedian. So imagine that. Yeah, what he's looking at. He's looking at the anchor over there. He's looking out towards that water intake crib there. He's checking out Chicago, the Lake Michigan. But hey, what a beautiful day. Yeah, look how you can look all the way down to Hyde Park. You got very misty moisture coming off the lake today. So here, we'll reverse this. We got to head back. I got to get back to work. So Bob, hey, have a good day. And we'll see you some other time. So hey, we're gonna get nice skyline view all the rest of the way in here, Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. Actually, let's walk on the north end because we can see the view to the Streeterville skyline. And there's a no, it's made out of metal. It's probably hollow. It's like a metal cast bronze, I think. It's not concrete, it's made out of metal, and it has like a paint on it. But here you can look all the way up towards, hey, Loyola University's up that way, so that's Rogers Park and Edgewater. Montrose is up that way. Yeah, I don't know if the lighthouse is tourable. Like I said, somebody in the 1970s lived there. I don't think it is. That would be nice. So that's why I came to this side of Navy Pier. We get to see the Streeterville skyline, which includes the John Hancock, 875 North Michigan. They put a bunch of transient boat slips on this side, and in the wintertime, sometimes they have an ice skating rink. This is the north side of Navy Pier. Not as often seen, but we'll head along the boat slips here. It gets hot. Yeah, it does get hot in the summer. Yeah, you don't be careful if you sit on it in the summertime with shorts. Your legs will get burnt. And that's a good point. Spain, how you doing there? Army on. Yeah, very nice. So it's supposed to be really hot today in Arizona and Southern California, like 95, 100 degrees. They're getting record-breaking temperatures this early in the season. It's heading to Texas. That's why we're not going to get quite as warm. It's going to be pretty nice tomorrow and the weekend, maybe 70s for the weekend, where we can hope. You got mad after seeing all the big buildings? Yeah, big bad city here. See, offshore rooftop into Navy Pier. Chicago, Illinois. Pedestrian walkway, good. So let's see what this looks like. Keep you off the road. See, there's vehicular access on the north end of Navy Pier because there's parking garages and taxi stands and things like that. Uber stands over here. It all came out to Montrose. Yeah, remember when people were jumping in the lake and they would all have their inner tubes on Fridays, but then the city put a stop to it. I guess they were worried people were having too good of a time. I know they're worried about safety, I guess is what it was. Yeah, sit on the hot seat. I remember that when I was a kid. You know, cars would get really hot, and then you go in, you sit on the seat, and you'd stick to the seat. You know, the hot cars before air conditioning. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Yeah. Usually if we get hot, it doesn't last too long. Every once in a while, we'll get a week of hot, just like with the cold. We'll get a week of bitterly cold, but it usually doesn't last for months on end. We get extreme hot, extreme cold, but it doesn't last for long. Look at all these murals. They added a bunch of murals here to the... we're on the north side of Navy Pier. I just wanted to check out the skyline here. Hey, riding the Uber Eats moped there. See, these are the transient boat slips. They added these. These weren't always here. It was controversial because a lot of fishermen like to fish on this side of the pier, and they added all these transient boat slips that we'll see if the boats come back. We saw some boats using it last summer, and we'll walk right by it. They got like showers and things. How you doing? How you doing? So, yeah, there's a few people here, but you know, it's the middle of the day on a Thursday, so it'll probably be more crowded this weekend because the weather will be nicer. Yeah, the city's not as crowded as it used to be. I know people notice it. I notice it too because we lost hundreds of thousands of people that used to commute from the suburbs that no longer have to commute because of the people's working patterns have changed during the work at home, whatever we got going on here. Yeah, it's too cold. Wes, how you doing? Miami T, Aisha. Cat McKay. Yeah, 65 Rambler. Yeah, it'll get hot. Stick to the seat. This is the Jardine water plant. Now, I saw some videos recently where people saw coyotes. This is where they saw the coyotes in the parking lot of the Jardine water plant. So it's away from the city. And I know Ernesto and Jose Mujica, they saw some coyotes when they were filming the ice in the wintertime at Ohio Street Beach. And I bet you there's some coyotes that are living in these woods, and they come out at night and they forage. And those might be the same coyotes that Steve Lyon saw in Grant Park. There's coyotes in Grant Park in the city. Can you believe that? Usually people only see them at night. I've seen coyotes during the day in Lincoln Park by the North Pond, and that was during COVID. Actually it was 2022 when they dredged the North Pond. I saw a coyote walk through the broad daylight, was not wearing a collar. It was clearly a coyote, not a dog. And it was just like walking through there like it owned the place. Very used to humans. Right here, look at these murals on the north side of Navy Pier. The hot summer weather, yeah. That's what made it great. So here's the transient boat slips at Navy Pier. That's what we're looking at here. Get a nice skyline view. So if you got a boat and you're out on the lake here, everything for a price. At least it's an option. Pull up to Chicago and live right off of Navy Pier. What's up, Wes? There, I see people go in the parking garage. But actually, I like this view heading back. See, can we walk through here? Entry. Yeah, let's see if we can walk straight through. We'll pop out the other side. So you see right there, there's the boathouse for the transient boat ship. I think they got restrooms and showers in there. And we'll head across. So you can walk from one end, the north to the south. There's a few places where you can access both sides, walk through where the cars go. We're underneath Navy Pier, the loading dock access and the parking garage access of Navy Pier. And we'll pop out on the other side here. Well, it's pretty pleasant weather today, 52 degrees, sunshine's nice. Oversized vehicles, $57 flat rate. Man, $57. Park your oversized vehicle. Inflation. East Garage. Hey, we're back in Navy Pier. How you doing? Yeah, Murals and Mosaics. An exhibition by the Chicago Sun-Times. Hey, the Blues Brothers. There's the Blues Brothers. So these are murals you can find all over the city here. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that big rat. Yeah, look at these. They got a bunch of murals here. Hey, how you doing? Hey, thanks. Really? Thanks for saying hello. That's good. Hey, what, you want to give a shout out or anything? Or just say hello?
Shy City.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for saying hello. That's great. Thanks for recognizing. Appreciate it. Friends and neighbors there. It's good. So here, Bar Soul. This is new. I guess they rebranded it. Can we get out? We can't even get out this way. I guess I have to go through the bar. Yeah, let's go through the bar here. I'm trying to figure out how to get out. They're checking it out. Yeah, they do. So here we'll. Yeah, I'm just heading through. Hey, thank you, appreciate it. Hey, we'll show this bar here. Hey, you've got March Madness. Come here. How you doing? Very nice. So yeah, March Madness is going. Games of ours. Bar Soul, Marisco's. There, I can't even get out. It's obstacle course. We're back at the Windy here. Hey, we're back at the south side of Navy Pier. Man, Grandma's Corner, Luna Star. Yeah, it's supposed to be nice weather this whole weekend. Hey, looking forward to the heat. It's coming. Right on. So they got a maze, fun house. Yeah, that tower's looking nice. 400 North Lakeshore. Yeah, people seem to like that video in January. I did an update. It's gotten hundreds of thousands of views. Yeah, so if you just joined, we're on Navy Pier. Like Grandma's Corner said there, we're at Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks, Grandma's Corner, for posting that. Yeah, this is Lake Michigan, and yeah, we'll see the Ferris wheel here. You see I got the big boats here, Navy Pier. You can catch all these dinner cruise boats. They got a Shakespeare Theater here. There's the Ferris wheel. We'll head right back up there. Yeah, it sounds about the right time. Yeah, we're 12:43. That sounds about the right time. The YouTube app doesn't post the time, which you know, and of course everybody always asks me what time it is. I don't want to get my other phone out of pocket. I'm a hippie. I don't really care what time it is, but I gotta pay attention to the time because of where I work. See, time is money, and we're all subject to the time clock, whether we like it or not. There's unless you're retired. Here's the Ferris wheel, Navy Pier, Skyline of Chicago. We're in the lunchtime. Oh yeah, Othello. Is that what they're showing there? So there's the locks for the mouth of the Chicago River. There's South Loop. Look at the beautiful skyline of Chicago there. The new 400 Lake Shore development. There's the Ferris wheel. Yeah, you get up early. If you get up early, the heat doesn't heat up. The heat builds up during the afternoon and evenings. You can go jump from the air conditioning. Here, the Ferris wheel at Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up there. Thanks for tuning in on such a beautiful day. Hope you can get out here and enjoy it if you live in Chicagoland. If not, you know, I'm sure hopefully it's nice where you're at. Yeah, we'll head down these stairs. They got a stage here. Part of Lake Michigan. Yeah, Navy Pier. Navy Pier. Yeah, they when they renovated Navy Pier, they changed these steps. They made this kind of curve. Hey, there's people taking pictures. Yeah, we're famous. Everybody will be famous for 15 minutes. See, Andy Warhol was right. In the future, everybody will be famous for 15 minutes. Yeah, life psychology. Well, that's why it was so ironic. I thought it was funny that I went to Daily Plaza yesterday, and I was like the only person in the audience, and then they brought me up on stage, and we did that whole improv act, and no one was there. No one saw it. If I wouldn't have filmed it, no one would have known it happened. And people are always like, show your face, you know, but like no one was there to see it in real life. So we had to show it in, you know, with the rerun. Hey, Margaritaville. Hey, they got this big giant chair. Hey, he's blowing the leaves off the steps there. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett, may he rest in peace. He's having a margarita up there in Florida heaven. Hanging out with Hemingway, Key West, in heaven. Yeah, Chicago streets. Yeah, they said the fishing in Lake Michigan's pretty good now, but you know, it's still Lake Michigan. So a lot of people used to fish on the north side of Navy Pier, but they put those, hey, how you doing there? I like, how you doing there? I like your shirt there. It's very nice. There's the dog's wearing the green shirt there. Very nice. Yeah, there's that Hebrew Brantley. Well, yeah, people used to fish on the north side of the pier. There was good fishing there, but then they put all those transient boat slips there, and it pissed off the fishermen. But there's still other places to fish. It just, the fish would come on, they would hide in the shadows of the pier. And here, Harry Carey, Chicago. You can sit on that glove there, take a picture. Navy Pier. We'll show the Mariner statue here. We saw the Bob Newhart statue. You can rewind this. That's the good thing about YouTube. If you missed it, you can rewind it and see the Bob Newhart. Yeah. Skylines. Yeah. Wine and tropical stuff. You got it. So here's all the boats at Navy Pier. There's the Ferris wheel. There we're looking out towards Lake Michigan. What a beautiful day. So we got the whole spring and summer ahead of us. I've waited the longest as possible to say that. Once we get to March and April and spring or opening day, we can start saying it for real. Opening day's coming up fast. We got March Madness right now. Here's the Ancient Mariner here. Hey, thanks, Lori Scarborough. Thanks for the shamrock there. Here's the captain at the helm. The captain at the helm. You can see, you can make it touch kiss the wheel of the ship with the captain, with the Ferris wheel spinning around there. Almost looks like a bicycle. Hey, look at the Navy Pier's looking nice. And a taxi stand. Buses. Yeah, we'll head right through here. Classic music. Yeah, I hear the classic music in the background. I'm glad you're picking that up. Hey, thanks for getting me to 100 thumbs up there. That's great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in here, Navy Pier, Chicago, Illinois. We got a beautiful day, 52 degrees, sunshine. We're about 12:45, 12:50 in the PM. I need to head back to work. I just want to keep streaming all afternoon. There's Chicago's Children's Museum. Yeah, there's the Children's Museum in there. There's a Flyover Chicago virtual reality experience. There's a bunch of gift shops and restaurants in there. A lot of collectibles. See, there's the Flyover. They got two different options. And there's a fountain. There's a butterfly garden over there. I think you got to pay for it. You know, it's probably similar to the butterfly garden in Peggy Notebart, which we already showed. Here's Lake Point Tower. People's Energy Welcome Pavilion. They got restrooms and stuff there. Good afternoon, Gailey Hughes. How you doing? Yeah, the Marines. Yeah, shout out to the armed forces being put in harm's way. Yeah, I'm worried about, they called up the Marines. They want to do something with the Straits of Hormuz, maybe take over those islands. I can't believe we're back in this situation. We're stuck in the Mideast again. Every cycle we get a politician that says, "Oh, we'll never get bogged down in the Mideast. These were stupid wars," and we're right back in the Mideast. And every time we think we're out, they pull us back in, or we pull ourselves back in. Again, Again, I gotta be really careful how I phrase this, but I think you could read between the lines. In my opinion, because of Citizens United, there's so much money that sloshes into our political system, lobbyists, even foreign lobbyists, contribute money to influence our elections. If you don't believe that, why is the right against George Soros so much? He's not a U.S. citizen, and they think he controls the left. Well, there's other foreign lobbyist groups that give money to both parties, not just Republicans, but Democrats, and they try to influence our foreign policy. And I don't think anybody, it's not a secret that one country lobbied the United States to help it attack Iran, and we didn't have to do this time. Tulsi Gabbard, they had her on the stand there yesterday. She said there's no intelligence that we have. She did this under oath, that Iran is rebuilding its nuclear that we destroyed last year. They said they destroyed it. So, you know, so if it's not regime change, is it for the oil? You know, what's it for? You know, I'm glad that, you know, it was horrible what happened to the protesters, but you know, the Iranian National Guard still is there, intimidating the population. So, you know, well, I'll lay off of it. You know, we'll hope for the best, prepare for the worst. We got to talk about it because it affects everything we do. I know I'll get comments, and then people will get muted, and they'll get mad because they got muted because they want to say something nasty about me because I'm talking about this. The world's a nasty place. You know, I'm learning to grow some backbone. Just let it slide. Do your worst. It's only words. You know. And thanks to my moderators and everybody else. So here we'll head back along the Ogden Slip. We're heading back. We went to Navy Pier. Enjoyed the sunshine. And let's head back along the Ogden Slip here. Meteorites in the sky. I know. A lot of drones, a lot of projectiles. It's not good for the environment when they blow up oil fields and all the pollution goes into the air. And then we get 100-degree days in Phoenix and we can't talk about climate change. Very weird world we're living in. Get berated. You got to believe the lies. You got to believe the lies. We got to lie to ourselves. $200 billion. They're asking Congress for $200 billion more. Make the billionaires pay. Make the people that benefit and enrich themselves off of all this stuff, make them pay. You're going to make just like the NFL stadiums. Make them pay for their own stadiums. We're tired of this crap. Make them pay for their own wars. Send the bill. Yeah, there's so much to see. That's why we headed this way, to show you how all this is potentially walkable from your hotel. It's a long walk, but we're willing to do it. Here's the Ogden Slip. Look how you can look all the way back to the Tribune Tower. We're just crossed under Sabo Lakeshore Drive. But there's too much money influence our election. We have the appearance of a Republican constitutional democracy, but it's not. It's money, power, greed. Elon Musk has so much more say over what happens in government than us. and he benefits more than we do. And I don't see him. Is he making any statements on X about the war? He doesn't want to hurt his stock price. Yeah, people fish. People fish. Sometimes we show people fishing in the Chicago River when we walk on the river walk. Yeah, people fish in the Chicago River. People fish in the lake. Fish at your own risk. Probably good to have a fishing license. So again, Chicago doesn't have a lot of hot dog stands like New York because the winters are colder, and Chicago doesn't have a tradition like New York of hot dog stands being on every corner in Manhattan and Central Park. We are seeing a few hot dog stands in the summertime. I see them every once in a while in Lincoln Park on the edge by the farm and the zoo and the main entrance to the zoo. There'll be some outdoor, a lot of food trucks. Chicago didn't even allow food trucks until recently. And they're only allowed to park in certain areas. They can't just park in front of a restaurant. They got to be so many feet away from a restaurant. And so there's only, you'll see them congregate in certain areas because, you know, like on Monroe Street, because there's not restaurants there next to the Art Institute. And they become the restaurant. Yeah. Oh, there's one at the, oh yeah, you're right. There is at the Field Museum. Yeah, they got a hot dog stand there in between the, yeah, that's where you'll see them, like between the Shed Aquarium and the Field Museum. You're right, there's a hot dog stand there. There's like a actual building, and then they probably got some outdoor ones. Hey, Dorita, there he is. There's Dorita. We got the nice, see, he's painting there. He's always at work. Very prolific artist there, Dorita. We got reruns on YouTube. Go check out the shorts there. We talk to him. Hey, they got the boats lined up, getting the boats ready to go. Here's all the gold and green from St. Patrick's Day. I bet a lot of these boats were used for the Green River. There's some flowers. Are those real flowers? Can't tell. Yeah, those are the first flowers I've seen. They don't look real though. Look at all these boats lined up. Here's all the boats lined up in the Ogden Slip. Like we were talking about these before. You can rent these pontoon boats. I don't know how much they cost. There, you can go to Chicago Line Cruises. I don't know who rents these out. It could be this boat dealership here. But here we'll head by. This is Winter's Jazz Club is behind us. This is the Ogden Slip, Chicago, Illinois. We'll go by Robert's Pizza. Patio open, Pinstripes. You go up to Pinstripes, they got bocce and they got bowling and other amusements. There's Robert's Pizza. Yeah, they're buffing out the fence here. Get the outdoor seating ready. They got the window open. Yeah, how you doing? Very nice. Yeah, that's good. You got watching baseball, watching the March Madness. Robert's Pizza. And then here, Woo's Korean Barbecue. Get some coming soon. I bet they'll open it. It's just in time for the warm weather. Wiener Circle, that's good. Yeah, we usually go by the Wiener Circle. Yeah, Portillo's got good hot dogs. It's kind of a chain. It's more a suburban thing. There's two Portillo's I know of in the city. We go by them every once in a while. You know, there's Demon Dogs. There's, you know, if you're really serious about it, you can go down to Maxwell Street, go to Jim's Original Polish on Maxwell Street. That's where it all started. And if you want Italian beef, go to Johnny's in Elmwood Park. But there's some nice Italian beef places in the city like Mr. Beef and Al's Beef. But here's the Ogden Slip. There's the 400 Lakeshore. We're seeing it from all sides. They're almost got it topped out there, 70-some stories tall, residential. McCurd Court, Streeterville, a lot of housing here. So we're back where we started, March Madness. Hey, you're watching the Troy versus Nebraska. Yeah, the first rounds of the March Madness are underway. Hey, look at that, the sun's behind. The sun's behind. It's like got that halo. Look at the sun's behind the top of the St. Regis. Here we are. We're past the noon hour. That's the highest the sun's going to get, and that building's still taller than the sun. It just arcs really low across the sky. That's why Chicago's so cold in the winter. We're too far north. You need Troy to make a comeback. You got him upsetting. Hey, that'd be interesting. What's the score? I might have missed the score there. Yeah, beautiful Chicago. Wiener Circle's ghetto. Well, yeah, their whole, yeah, they don't have the best hot dogs in my opinion, like the cheddar char dogs, but it's just the ambiance. It's like Ed DeBevick's, you know, they make fun of you when you're ordering and yell at you. See if Poochie's there. There, McClure Court, and we're down at the river here. See, we're back where we started. We went by the Centennial Fountain. We're back here. Hey, it was a nice little trip to Navy Pier. Thanks for coming along with me. It's nice to see the lake and the sunshine. And here we'll head under City Front Place here. Yeah, beautiful sun. Oops. There you go. Yeah, so that's probably about right. 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. We got about 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, it's warmer where you're at. That's good. Yeah, it's supposed to warm up. Maybe we'll get to 15 tomorrow Celsius. 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I think 20 degrees Celsius equates to 68 degrees Fahrenheit roughly. 30 is pretty hot. 30 is like 90 degrees Fahrenheit Celsius conversion. This is, here we're back at the Green River, the Green Chicago River. Yeah, we'll get this view, head up to the Columbus Bridge. There, the experience, there you go. Yeah, go there for the experience. Yeah, Steve Lyon went there, they threw some fries at him. It was all good fun. Hey, we'll get this island party and get people on the tiki boats here. Get the slide. Yeah, Chicago River. See if we get an architecture tour boat coming through here. I don't see any though. We saw some earlier. Well, we're back to the Sheridan. Yeah, there's the Lakeshore East, the sun. It's very bright. Yeah, have a good day there, Barbara Berg. Thanks for tuning in. Justin Walker. All Saints Day. Beautiful sun there, Mikey. Seattle, homesick. Yeah, see, Chicago has long, cold winters. Seattle has long, rainy winters. You ever watch Major Hustler? Major Hustler live streams. His name's Tim. He's a good guy. I've been watching him for years, but I haven't seen him much lately. Hopefully he's doing fine. Yeah, Seattle. I like Seattle. I go there in the summertime. It's better weather. You can see Mount Rainier sometimes, but then you have to wait till a clear day in the summer, usually. Yeah, it's raining. Imagine that, it's raining in Seattle. So positive, negatives, everything. I mean, look at Southern California. They got the hot heat right now. It's like 100 degrees. Same with Phoenix, Arizona. So if you want the hot heat, go to Tucson. They're breaking records as far as temperature. There, we'll head back up the slippery stairs here. Actually, no, we'll keep on going. Let's keep on walking. Let's keep on walking here. I'm walking here. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, we'll stick by the water. Look at the Green River here. That's looking towards the lake. We're underneath. See how you can see the shadows of the cars? It's a great, and that's why the Dave Matthews Band bus, they didn't use this bridge. They used a similar bridge, the Kinsey Street Bridge. The idea they were just going to dump, the bus driver was going to dump the contents of his waste tour bus, and it hit an architectural tour boat. It was back in 2004. But this is the Columbus Street Bridge. It's a really wide bridge. This is a bascule bridge that lifts. See, there's the traffic going across. See the shadow. Look at the shadow of the cars on the water there. It's like an abacus. Pulsing through there. Hey, the sea dog. The sea dog. Catch the sea dog over here. Hey, look. So look at this sculpture. So I saw Jeffrey Baird had a episode, you know, Jeffrey Baird on PBS. This sculpture used to be on a different bridge, and then they removed it, or it was on a different building, and it was like in a scrapyard, or just like buried, like laying in like in a junkyard, and someone discovered it, and they said, this is an important work of art. See the cow and the woman, and they put it on the Columbus Bridge like in like 1999 or 2000, and I'm glad they saved it. Same with that statue over by the Board of Trade, the same thing. It was on the original Board of Trade, and then it was like laying in a Park District junkyard, half buried in the mud, and then they said, these are historic statues, and they put them back near where they used to be. Here's the Sea Dog, Odyssey, Chicago River. There's the Trump Tower. There's all the Lakeshore East. We'll head by the, yeah, we might go up these stairs here. Yeah, thanks for watching the lives here. 8 p.m. in Cypress. That's great. Life Psychology. Hey, we have a famous live streamer in Chicago. His name is, well, his handle on YouTube, he's from Cypress, and he walks all the time. It's not just this Gemini. He's on YouTube as well. He's from Cypress. Well, originally he's a Chicago and he's American. He lives here, but he's got hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube. So yeah, I have to look it up. My first thought was something to do with like the cow in the Chicago fire, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's not Mrs. O'Leary. I think it's just like, think about domesticated animals. They help out humans a lot, and we live coexistence with each other. Llamas, sheep, goats, pigs, horses, cows, chickens. That's what I get out of it. I don't know. The cow looked like it was pretty happy there, like it was a pet of that woman, or was on her farm. I don't want to work on Maggie's farm no more. But yeah, Chris presents. He's from Cyprus. Does anybody watch Chris presents? He's a famous live streamer on YouTube, and he's originally from Cyprus, but he lives in Chicago, and he's got hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube. So you might want to follow him if you don't already. Here's on YouTube. Here's the Wrigley Building. Here's the Wrigley Building, Chicago, the Apple Store. There's the Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. They clean up the river, so that boat collects garbage and sweeps it up there. Here, we'll head across the Sable Michigan Bridge. Hey, look at the Tribune Tower. Here's the Equitable Building. We'll go by the Apple Store here. See, the roof looks like a laptop. And there's the Tribune Tower. Kentucky. Oh yeah, I've visited the Appalachian Mountains many times. I have relatives that live in West Virginia. I've gone to Asheville, North Carolina. I've gone to the Great Smoky Mountains. I have ancestors that lived there before the Trail of Tears and after the Trail of Tears, both white and indigenous and Melungeon. I have Melungeon ancestry, which I'm sure if you know Appalachia, you know something about the Melungeons, and we've been there for a long time. And I'm proud of my Appalachian heritage. It's only on my mom's side. My mom's side has it. And I have ancestors that have been in Appalachia for hundreds of years. And I like going back. I would like to do some live streaming from there. I've even gone in like Eastern Kentucky, like Hazard and Pikeville. You ever been to Pikeville? There's the breaks. There's like canyons there. I've been to New River Gorge in West Virginia. I've been to the Georgia Mountains, the North Carolina Mountains, the Virginia Mountains, the Shenandoah, Blue Ridge Mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway. Yeah, it's nice. I like all that area. There's Jean Baptiste Point du Sable. My grandfather really liked, he got to retire in the mountains because he went back to his roots, and he would look off his back porch and see a deer, and he just loved that. Hey, we just missed the boat. There's Chicago's Emerald Lady here, Chicago, Illinois. They're in the greenish river there. But hey, what a beautiful day. Thanks for checking out the sunshine here across the DuSable Michigan Bridge. Here's the Wrigley Building. Hey, riding the bike. Yeah, thanks, Ronald. Thanks for watching. We'll get there eventually. And maybe I'll talk about some of the history. There's so much history I have an ancestor that was at the Henderson Purchase, the Transylvania, when 1,000 Cherokees met Daniel Boone and the Cherokee translator, which was, his name was John Van. John Van he was born in South Carolina because his father was a white Indian trader that married a matriarchal woman from the Wild Potato clan of the Cherokees, and it sired the whole Van mixed blood Cherokee family, including James Van, who I have relatives that are related to Charles Renatus Hicks. The reason these were all mixed blood offspring of the traders, the British and the Scots-Irish and the French Indian traders, just like Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable was a fur trader back in the Potawatomi days. That's why his wife was Kitty Hawa. She was Potawatomi. Just like the same thing happened in the Cherokee tribe, which was matriarchal. The early Indian traders realized in the early 1700s, before the Revolutionary War and the French Revolutionary War, there was a brief period where it was advantageous for the trading families to intermarry into the Cherokees. They literally mixed the blood because it was a very rough time. A lot of people got killed in that period. And then I have ancestors that fought in the French and Indian War, Revolutionary War, War of 1812, including the Red Stick War. Most people don't realize the Red Stick War. It was Andrew Jackson fought the Creeks. Andrew Jackson was an Indian fighter like Sevier. I have relatives that lived in the old state of Franklin. Who knows about the old state of Franklin in northeast Tennessee? That's where the Melungeons settled, a lot of them on Newman's Ridge there. Here comes a ambulance. But there's a lot of Appalachian hillbilly people, like my ancestors, ended up in the cities, moved to, just like the Great Migration from the South, the Black Migration, people from the Appalachians migrate to cities during World War I and World War II to work in the factories. These included my ancestors. They went to Cincinnati. Some went to Philadelphia. Some went to Detroit. There's a guy named Winkler. He was the head of the Melungeon Heritage Foundation. He did a lot of media stuff. He looks Melungeon because he is Melungeon. He has Melungeon ancestry. And his family went to Detroit. They went to Detroit from Appalachia to find jobs. And that was, because we were poor hillbilly moonshiners. I have a true hillbilly moonshiner ancestor that got arrested during Prohibition because he murdered a G-man. That really happened. They raided his still. Stuff like that happened all the time back in Prohibition. We live across the street. But hey, thanks for tuning in here. Thanks for checking out some of the lunchtime walk. Look, see, there's more people. There's more people on Michigan Avenue. I know people are like, where was everybody out at Navy Pier? They're all over here. But hey, I'm gonna head back to work. We'll see you after 5 o'clock tonight. We'll be on TikTok, and then we'll do this tomorrow lunchtime on YouTube. Thanks everybody. Thanks to the mods and all the friends and followers, gifts, likes, and follows. Thanks for getting me 137 likes there. I got to go back to work. There's the Carbide and Carbon, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth, 52 degrees. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you later. Yeah, Chicago, USA. Talk to you later, everybody. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Colorado's nice too. I've been out there as well. I got friends that live in the ski hills there. We'll have to go out there sometime. So, okay, talk to you later. From Chicago. Have a great day. Appreciate everybody. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, Lori Scarborough. Thanks for all the shamrocks here. Thanks, Grandma's Corner. Thanks, Lamby T. We'll see y'all later there. Okay, bye.